Okay, so in this next video, what we're going to do is show you how to use a user-defined function, and it's going to be a real-world example. As a matter of fact, this is one that I use at work all the time. I had to create it for what I do. So let's start out, first of all, let me just show you something about when you're calling a user-defined function from the command line. If you take a look down here under programmability and then functions, and then see where it says scalar valued functions, that's where you're going to be making functions 99% of the time. And a lot of these you can figure out what they mean just by this, like get day name. This means that if you know the number of the day of the week, like if it's the first day, just for the sake of argument, it'll kick back Sunday. If you pass in a 7, it'll say Saturday, okay? But notice this, if I say select and then my function get day name and then I pass in a 1, you would think that it would say Sunday no problem, because this is what it would look like in any other programming language, right? Well, not really. Bam! Notice what it says, get day name down here is not a recognized built-in function name. See, the way that I have it stated here, it thinks this is something that came with T-SQL, and it doesn't. It's not like is null or count or sum or min or max. It's not a built-in function. So what you have to do is you have to qualify it. You have to put the owner's name in front of it. And in this case, if you notice, see down here, it says DBO or database owner. All I have to do is drop in database owner, and now it's happy. That's all you have to do. But if you didn't know that, it could be a nightmare. And you have to be careful because they're not always owned by DBO. They should be, but they may not be. And if it was coming from another database, then you would have to prepend the name of the database in front of it. And then you can call it from anywhere you want. Okay, so we'll close that. Now, the real-world example that I promised you, let's say, for example, you have a table that has orders in it, okay? Now, this table looks like a mess. This isn't the full table. It's just a couple of different things. Part of what makes this real world is we're going to say that this field called order number, it looks like check numbers in a checking account, right? We're going to say that this is a text field or a varchar field. But we've got some really weird numbers here. We've got some that are in like 900s, 1,000, and then some of them that are way higher. Why would that be? Well, we're going to say that this data came from two different systems. This might have come from a legacy system, and then maybe the company that we're working with, they just bought out their competitor, and the name of that company was Regal, and they just had a different numbering system. So what's going to happen is, every time somebody has to go pick an existing order number from a drop-down, they're going to have to look at all this stuff together, right? How are you going to order those? Well, there's a few different ways that you can approach it. One way you could do it is just this. You could order it, or you don't have to order it at all. This is really just, I'm selecting the same thing again. Let me move that out of there. Let me go to this next one. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to order it by the third field. Now, do you see the problem? These are not numeric. The problem with these is that, because they're text fields, anything starting with a 2 comes before anything starting with an 8 or a 9. So 220,000 comes before 995. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's not good. So what else can we do? Well, instead, what we could do is we could say this, cast order number as int, and that would work. But when somebody looks at this, though, they're still going to complain because this isn't very pleasing to the eye. People like stuff right justified, but you can't right justify that the way it is because it's text. It's not a number. It's not like it's in an Excel spreadsheet. It's just going to be what you see is what you get. And there's a lot of different ways that you can handle this, but I'm going to show you how I would handle it. Let's just say that you talked the customer into or the person whose data this is, that you're going to put zeros in front of anything that isn't 6 digits. So instead of this saying 995, it'll say 000995. Now, why would you do that? That's not really a number. Well, that's okay because this is a text field. You're not going to be calculating anything with it. But if you put zeros in front of that, then everything will be the same width. Everything will be 6 characters. Now, I have to put 3 in front of this, and 3 in front of this, and 3 in front of this, and 2 in front of this. How do I know how to do that? Well, welcome to this user-defined function that I made called PrePad. PrePad has 3 parameters. It has the string that you're passing in, which is the order number, and then the length, meaning when everything's said and done, it's going to be 6 characters. And then the character, meaning that if it's not 6 characters, what am I going to stuff in the front of it until I get 6 characters? And that's going to be a 0. Watch how nice this looks. Here, let me indent this a little bit better. Alright, so here's really what we're picking. The source, the amount, and then the order number. Now when we hit this, look at how nice this is, folks. Everything is 6 digits. Zeros in front of these, so all the 900s stay at the top, and then 1,000, and then all the really ridiculously big numbers from the other system, they come down to the bottom where they're supposed to. So you see, when you do it this way, all I'm doing is I'm taking this function that I could reuse all over the place called PrePad, and I'm putting it right in the select statement as one of the fields. Oh, and what I should probably also do is name this column, so as order number. See right here how it says no column name right up above there. So if I do this and run it again, now it has one. So this way, if it's in a drop-down or something, everything's lined up. People could power type if they need to. You know, if they can't really power type a 995 because they'll have to put zeros in front of it, but they'll get used to that. But this way, they're all lined up together, and they're all ordered together, even though there's text. So this is just an example of how you would use a user-defined function in the real world. And here's the other thing. Just imagine, if you would, how much code you would have to write here to have it do this, putting the 3 zeros in front there. How much code would you have to write to get it to do the same thing that it's doing here without using temp tables and looping through it? Look at how clean this is. It's just one line, and that's because I indented it. It's really just a part of a line. It's one field entry, but it has a user-defined function. Does everything I need. Once you get the hang of using these, you will start using user-defined functions all over the place in your queries. So that's how you use a user-defined function.